But let's talk about Montgomery County, and I was kind of struck by the differences of policies, and when we're discussing real property development policies, the term redlining, or the practice of discouraging investment in risky neighborhoods, is associated with racial and ethnic discrimination. Adam Pagnucco is a treasure as a blogger, because he came up and he said, well, what happens when if Montgomery County is redlining itself? So what happens when a county government creates a de facto red line around the very community which they're responsible by? And Adam quotes Jay Parsons, a journalist that publishes a housing newsletter, and suggests that because of the regulatory risk created by the Montgomery County Council, and pointed in particular to rent control and the county building energy performance standards, developers, lenders, and investors are reluctant to invest in multifamily housing in the county because it's not a safe place to invest. Nancy, again, you are the expert on housing initiatives. The county continues to struggle with their formulas and their different proposals. One day it's affordable housing, the next day it's attainable housing, and the new buzzword is workers' housing. But ultimately, they just seem to be running around in circles.
Well, I just sort of say, duh. People have been declining to invest in Montgomery County for some time. The rent control issue has made things worse, that's for sure. I know of people who won't put their money into Montgomery County anymore. So that is a fact of life. The council's been told that over the years. They don't listen. And this housing policy stuff, people want to put on their resume. I'm a housing advocate, yada, yada, yada. At the same time, they raise the development fees. So the more money they raise from somebody else's back to give to a nonprofit, that just goes back to the county, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of paying the very onerous development fees that Montgomery County has imposed. So, it's all talk. It's not going to be much action. The private sector is not going to put it in the capital. And again, if federal money dries up, so I'd say it's all bad news.
Well, you touched on a great point about the development fees. And Laurie, while the council considers legislation to allow more duplexes, triplexes along transit corridors in hopes of building more housing, the council is also adding another charge to developers by a proposal to add a demolition tax on single-family renovation projects. And yes, it's all well-intentioned because the money is going to be put into a housing fund, but you're really just adding another burden to the development community when they want to regenerate the housing stock here in Montgomery County.
Yeah, I don't understand why they think they should just charge an extra, like it's going to cost $20,000 if they pass this thing for someone who wants to redevelop their home. And overall, it's going to cost the county will gain about $4 million something dollars. So, I just feel like that's just a deterrent. And Kristen Mink is the one who's doing this in the county council. This is her proposal for the demolition bill, and she just believes that money that when you have money, you should give it to other people. And if your property is going to go up in value, that you owe it to the poor people of the county to give some of that profit that you're going to get to them when you already pay taxes and you already have to pay, there's already things that you have to
their impact fees already embedded into the building process. So
yes, it's just silly. And there's Evanston, Illinois does this. I think it's a pretty wealthy area. I used to live in Illinois, and I remember they had really great schools there at the time. So I just don't understand what Mink is. I mean, it's what she likes to do is introduce socialist policies.
Well, I think the council, as I started off this segment with, the council is struggling with a housing policy that will spur development. And they're trying to come up with a different formula, and they have been, as Nancy pointed out, for many, many years.